This video is on the topic of limiting factors on the rate of photosynthesis. Most plants do not have an unlimited supply of the raw materials needed for photosynthesis. This means that the rate of photosynthesis is limited by whichever factor is in lowest supply at that time. A limiting factor can therefore be defined as a factor present in the environment in such short supply that it restricts life processes, such as photosynthesis. The main factors limiting the rate of photosynthesis in plants include temperature, light intensity, and the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere. It is important to note that although water is needed for photosynthesis, it is not considered a limiting factor because the amount of water used by the plant is so small that it is unlikely to be in such short supply that it will affect the rate of photosynthesis. Now let's look at a graph showing the effect of temperature on the rate of photosynthesis. At low temperatures, any temperature increase will result in the rate of photosynthesis increasing as well. This is because there is an increase in the kinetic energy of the enzyme and substrate molecules involved in photosynthesis. As the enzyme and substrate molecules move faster, more successful collisions occur between them, which speeds up the rate of photosynthesis. This trend continues until the optimum temperature of the enzyme is reached. Any further increase in temperature will lead to a decrease in the rate of photosynthesis as the enzymes begin to denature. Light intensity will affect the amount of energy that the plant has available to carry out photosynthesis. At low light intensities, increasing the intensity will lead to a linear increase in the rate of photosynthesis. This trend will continue up to a certain point, where after any further increase in light intensity will not increase the rate of photosynthesis, and it will remain constant. At this point, one of the other factors may be limiting the rate of photosynthesis. The graph showing the effect of carbon dioxide concentration on the rate of photosynthesis will display a similar trend to light intensity. Increasing the carbon dioxide concentration will lead to a linear increase in the rate of photosynthesis up to a certain point. Any further increase in the carbon dioxide levels will not result in a corresponding increase in the rate of photosynthesis. At this stage, one of the other factors will be limiting the rate of photosynthesis. In an exam, you may be asked to identify factors that could be limiting the rate of photosynthesis at different points on a graph. Let's look at an example of how to interpret a graph on limiting factors. The graph shows the rate of photosynthesis in strawberry plants at different carbon dioxide concentrations, and you must identify the limiting factor at point A and B on the graph. Point A is located in a section of the graph where the rate is increasing. This means that whatever the label on the x-axis is most likely limiting the rate of photosynthesis at that point. For this graph, it is the concentration of carbon dioxide. Point B is located in the section of the graph where the rate is not increasing anymore, which means that another factor is now limiting the rate of photosynthesis. We can see that the temperature is quite low, so it will most likely be the limiting factor at this point. In summary, a limiting factor is any factor that is in such short supply that it restricts the life processes such as photosynthesis. The main limiting factors for photosynthesis is temperature, light intensity, and carbon dioxide concentration. At low levels of these factors, any increase would result in an increase in the rate of photosynthesis up to a certain point.